Hello everyone! Today we are going to talk about the basic American values and the two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, opinions about the values and how the values reflect in their different ideology. We want to find out if some values are more appreciated than others and if there is, which one. The basic American values consist of 6 different parts. The first one is individual freedom, the desire and the ability of an individual to control their own destiny without outside interference from the government or anyone else. Second is self-reliance, the price to be paid for individual freedom. Americans believe that individuals must learn to rely on themselves or risk losing freedom. Third one is equality of opportunity. Each individual should have an equal chance to succeed. Fourth one is competition, to be paid for this equality of opportunity. Like everyone should have an equal chance to run the race and win. They must have someone to compete with. Fifth, material wealth, the quality and the quantity of an individual material possession became the accepted measure of success and social status. Sixth, hard work, the price to be paid for material wealth. The values originated from the frontier heritage. The American frontier was the colonization border in North America, which slowly moved to West America. The frontier experience began around 1600 until 1890, when the settlement happened. The frontier, even though the American civilization took over and replaced the frontier almost a century ago, the heritage of the frontier is still very much alive in the States today, because the idea of the frontier still stirs the emotions and the imagination of American people and their national values. These American values is what define American people today. The values are reflected in the American people's everyday life, and they are a huge part of why Americans do and live like they do. Like Hofstede's Onion model shows, the values are among symbols, heroes and rituals, the core of the American people. The values are also to be found in politics, but they are a bit different. In the American, political values is individualism and egalitarianism tend to be the two predominant values, among others such as patriotism, the love of one's country, and respect for its symbol and principles. Political tolerance, the willingness to allow groups with different ideologies to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed freedom, such as free speech and last, capitalism. These values are the core of political American values and are often called the American Creed. The Creed was composed by New York State Commissioner of Education Henry Sterling Chapman in 1819, refers to believe that the American government is by the people, for the people, whose powers are derived from the consent of the covenant. While the core political values define Americans, not all Americans agree on scope and the purpose of government, and consequently, not all Americans believe in the same political ideology. We have today with us 2 members of each party, the Democrats and the Republicans, who first will explain their party's ideology and then their party's ground values.
Hi, I'm from the Democrats.
And hi, I'm from the Republicans.
People who value change and a greater emphasis on collective equality tend to relate to the ideology of liberalism. Liberals support more government intervention to promote economic equality and believe the government should have more of a say in people's lives. However, social liberalism says government should be involved in addressing issues such as poverty and access to education and healthcare. We believe in making America more environment friendly by using renewable sources of
First is for individual freedom, and the price for that is self-reliance. The second is for equality of opportunities. If everyone has an equal chance to succeed, then we have to compete. The third is for the American dream, the opportunity for a better life and higher standard of living. As many Americans know, it takes hard work to achieve the American dream, and everyone is the chief of their own fortune.
What is your party's opinions about the government role?
It is important that the government appear a main role to find a solution for the land's challenge for education, health and job creation. We want to reform Medicare so the system is economically possible, and we also want to keep guard around our healthcare reform.
We believe in limited government. Republicans favor less government intervention and more individual freedom in economic activities. When it comes to American healthcare system, Obama made a healthcare system called Obamacare. In our opinion, is Obamacare too expensive for the government, and that leads us to the high taxes we have today.
What is your opinions about abortion?
As a Democrat, our meaning about abortion is women should have the rights to decide over her own body. We are pro-choice.
We do not favor abortion. We want every child to feel safe, even the unborn children. We are pro-life.
What do you think about the taxes?
We think that the richest should pay more tax than the poorest, so they have a chance to succeed and have a better life. We want to give tax relief to them who need it, example, the middle class, families and the small business. We believe that by high taxes for the rich people, there will become more jobs and opportunities for the poor people, and that will create a more equal society.
We want to keep the tax low. We want the rich to pay less tax than they do today. With a lower tax, we can create more jobs around American business, so the poor can get a job and make a better life for themselves.
A new survey of 10,000 adults nationwide finds that the Democrats and Republicans are more divided along ideological lines than at any point in the last 2 decades. These divisions are greatest among those who are most engaged and achieve in the political process. As you can see at this statistic, the division between the Democrats and the Republicans are smaller in 1994 than in 2014. This division has created an ideology somewhere between liberalism and conservatism, which is called the moderates. And now we will look into the convention speeches from 2012. It was Obama who spoke for the Democrats, and it was Mitt Romney who spoke for the Republicans. We will look into how the American values was used in the speeches.
A lot of the things Obama talked about in his convention speech was about the can-do spirit. The Americans have always been known for the can-do spirit. In each different convention speech, Mitt Romney's and Obama's, we can see it in some different ways. Obama is really positive about almost everything. He means that all problems can be solved. It is shown almost through the whole speech. I want to tell you an example from the speech. America, I never said this journey would be easy, and I won't promise that now. Yes, our path is harder, but it leads to a better place. Yes, our road is longer, but we travel
In Romney's convention speech, he says that it was freedom who led people to America. He did not just come in pursuit of the riches in this world. They came of the richness of their life they could have in America. They would have the freedom to choose their own religion, freedom to speak their mind, freedom to build a life, and freedom to build a business. When people saw the Statue of Liberty and kissed the ground, they knew that they could have a better life here.
You can see our ideology, liberalism, through Obama's convention speech, where he said, "We don't think the government can solve all of our problems, but we don't think the government is the source of all our problems." With that he means that the government is not them who are making the problems, but not either them who can solve all of our problems. Obama believed that we have doubled our use of renewable energy, and thousands of Americans have jobs today building wind turbines and long-lasting batteries.
Like Mitt Romney said in his speech, like a lot of families in the new place with no family, we found kinship with a wide circle of friends through our church. What he means is that the ideology conservative is based on someone who is very religious.
Obama says, "My grandparents were given the chance to go to college and buy their home, their own home, and fulfill the basic bargain and the heart of American story. The promise that hard work will pay off, the responsibility will be rewarded, that everyone gets a fair shot and everyone does their fair share and everyone plays by the same rules from Main Street to Wall Street to Washington. With that quote, he uses different American values: hard work, self-reliance and individualism, equality of opportunity and the rule of law. Another example where Obama uses the values and an inspiration for the people. We insist on personal responsibility and we celebrate individual initiative. We are not entitled to succeed, we have to earn it. We honor the strivers, the dreams, the risk takers. Here his intention is to point out that self-reliance and individualism is key word for success.
We can conclude that the basic American values and the political values is very important for the American population. In both convention speeches is the individualism and equalitarianism the two predominant values among individual effort, the rule of law, patriotism, political tolerance, and capitalism. The values are used as a tool to convince the American population, but most of all it is a base for the ideology. The different ideology, conservatism and liberalism, has the same core values, but different way and thoughts about achieving the goals, which some of them are also the same. Create more jobs and get a better economic. The two parties are at odds how to govern America, but I think both parties agrees on is that America is the best country in the world. America is a role model for the rest of the world. Therefore, they build on the American exceptionalism.